Hello and welcome to another season and another edition of the FRF and FPMA Legislative Video Updates. My name is James Miller, Communications Director for the Florida Retail Federation, and joining me as always is Samantha Hunter-Paget, our General Counsel and Vice President. Well, Samantha, it's another session, and well, week 3 has been just as crazy and wild as everyone thought it would be. Let's talk about some of the bills that are important to our members this week. First one is commercial lease tax. Can you talk about where it is?
Well, there are 2 different proposals right now on the move for commercial lease tax. One would take a 1% reduction off of that tax. The other would take the tax out of the ad valorem portion of the commercial lease tax. Both of those provisions are a possibility. Ultimately, this issue will end up in the tax package, which has not yet really started to move or really started to crystallize. But we're really excited to see some motion on that issue because it is so important to the membership.
Definitely. And another issue that's new to Florida Retail Federation, our members, is medical marijuana. Samantha, talk about where that is and why it's important.
It's important because as this issue develops, we want to make sure that our employers maintain the ability to regulate their workplace. So it allows them to continue to have restrictions regarding drugs in their workplace, both the use and the influence of the employee. So we have proposed an amendment that will allow employers to continue to have control of their workplace. We look forward to hopefully putting that amendment on the bill in its first committee stop.
Another issue that's important to a large number of Florida Retail Federation members is plastic bags. Legislation is moving. Can you talk about where we stand with plastic bags?
The Senate bill dealing with disposable plastic bags, Senate Bill 162, was heard this week in the Environmental Preservation and Conservation Committee. It would allow communities of less than 100,000 citizens who are coastal to ban or otherwise regulate plastic bags. That's of concern to our members, and so of course we were there in committee to testify on it and share our concerns. That has 4 references in the Senate, which is a lot. That's a lot of movement to make. This was just its first committee of reference. We don't think that it will get legs and eventually pass, but we always welcome the opportunity to have the conversation and share with the legislature why we don't favor this type of legislation. The House Companion has 3 committees of reference. It has not even received a first hearing, but we always are cautious and we always really follow this issue closely. But so far, we're not really concerned that this proposal will cross the finish line.
Gotcha. And finally, deregulation, beauty industry, very important to our members and those professions. Can you talk about where we stand and some of the changes that have been proposed?
The Senate and the House have both proposed broad deregulation packages that address a number of professions: auctioneers, landscape architects, interior designers, and cosmetologists and barbers. And there are, in the cosmetology and barbering profession, significant cuts to their required education hours. And this is of real concern to our salon, spas, and beauty schools, not for their own bottom line, not for their interest to keep people out of the industry. This is a very open industry, very encouraging. They are really concerned about the impact this will have on service in Florida and the impact it will have on the ability of cosmetology and barbering students to be very successful in the industry. So we took this as an opportunity to educate, share with them why these hours are important, share with them why education in this profession is important. And I think that we are making real progress. And so I want to thank our Beauty Industry Council members that took it upon themselves to contact legislators. I think it made a real difference. I think we changed the conversation this week a little bit.
Wonderful. That's great news for our Beauty Industry Council members. And that's it for this week's edition. Those are 4 of the hot topics that are important to you, our members, and important to us, and that we're fighting on your behalf on. As always, please check us out. Text FLBuzz to 313131 to get the latest on legislation and pending legislation and everything that's going on in the session. And as always,
happy retailing!